Peace everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Elena, and here on my channel I talk about things like plant-based eating, self-care, motherhood, and overall holistic wellness. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any more videos from me. Today's video falls under the category of motherhood, and it's all about my at-home water birth experience. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching again.
Sleeping, contraction wake me up, fall back asleep, contraction wake me up, mom fall asleep, contraction, I have contraction, I wake her up.
Horrible if theirs was horrible. Like they will try to convince you that you need the epidural. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video was requested and it was just about my birth story pretty much. So for those of you who don't know, I have a 7-month-old. I did a water birth and a home birth, and a lot of people are like interested in how that experience was, how were things leading up to, during, and after. So that's what this video will be about. And I have notes here to reference, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. So the question was my feelings leading up to the birth. So just to talk about that for a second. And also, before I start, I want to let you guys know that no birth experience is the same. Like, none. Every birth experience is unique to the mother. Each birth that the mother has is different, and every birth that every mother has is different. So this is just my story, this is my experience. Yeah, just want to get that out the way. So my feelings leading up to an all-natural water birth. So maybe like a few years ago, I had no intentions of like getting pregnant anytime soon, let alone like having an all-natural water birth. But I was really into like watching videos about it and like watching people as they labor, and it was really interesting to me just to see how different people go through that process and how you can make that process not exactly what you want, because we would all prefer a like pain-free, completely pain-free labor and birth, but as close to that as we could get. And so I was already like interested in it just because I was like looking up those videos and like just watching this beautiful process happen. So I was really excited about it. Those are my feelings. My feelings was excitement, like, and like just I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to experience it for myself. But I could wait because I didn't want to have a baby a few years ago. Oh, also, I mean, y'all are on this channel, so you already know that holistic wellness and holistic health and like alternative medicine, that's my thing. So like I don't take any cold medicine when I get sick. I don't like take any kind of, you know, like foreign medicine into my body. I prefer to deal with that kind of stuff the natural way. So essential oils, or like my diet, certain things that I eat, eating more of some things and less of other things if I'm not feeling well, stuff like that. So naturally I would want a drug-free labor and delivery. So I just wanted to allow my body, specifically designed to carry and nurture and give birth to a baby, I wanted to allow my body to do it the way nature intended. And so that's why I decided on an all-natural birth. The water birth part was just because, I mean, like, it's cool. Like, it's cool, and it helps. Through my research, because I had never done it before, but through my research I saw that it helps with the pain and it kind of helps with your comfort, and so that's why I decided on water birth. I'm excited, optimistic, a little nervous, empowered, confident, anticipative, because it was kind of like, okay, let's do it, let's get to it. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And all of those feelings, again, those are feelings that I try to have in every area of my life. So not just this. So some people may see those feelings as being unrealistic, and maybe everyone doesn't feel that way leading up to their birth, especially if they plan on doing it all natural. But I try to practice like using the law of attraction and focusing on good things and trying to attract good things. So I didn't, even if my mind for a second went to like a negative feeling towards my birth and labor, I immediately like started thinking positive thoughts and trying to dismiss that negativity like immediately. So yeah, I was optimistic. I did a lot of research. I was reading books, listening to podcasts, like, and not necessarily books and podcasts related to the labor and delivery, but just uplifting things to like put into my mind instead of, you know, like the opposite. I was a little nervous naturally because this is something that I never done before, and on top of that, when you talk to other women or men, honestly, when you talk to other people who have experienced childbirth or whose partner or spouse has experienced childbirth, a lot of times the stories are not like something that's going to make you feel good about going into it. And a lot of times, for some odd reason, people want your labor and your delivery to be horrible. If theirs was horrible, like they will try to convince you that you need the epidural. I mean, they'll say it's worth it in the end most of the time, but they still like put this fear into you about what's to come. And so that can cause some nervousness, but it's just important to dismiss those thoughts and remember that not every experience is the same. As long as you go into it with a positive mindset and positive expectations, that can make all the difference in how your labor and delivery goes. But yeah, I was a little nervous just because it was new and you really don't know what to expect until it's happening. And even when it's happening, you still don't know what's coming next because it's very unpredictable. But whatever, like it's still an amazing process. Empowered. So the empowered spirit, it came from different places. It came from me doing my own research. It came from me having a birth doula. Also on Instagram, the Sacred Birth Doula. I follow her and she gives a ton of information, just everything regarding labor, delivery, and pregnancy. So if you are expecting or will be expecting or are not expecting, go ahead and follow her because she provides a whole lot of information around natural labor, delivery, and pregnancy. My roommate at the time and my mom, they were amazing sources of empowerment because every time I felt like, if I felt a little like uneasy or I felt nervous or anything, they were there to like pick me right back up immediately. So make sure that you have some source of support like that, even if it's just one person, even if it ends up being your birth doula. If you don't have any close family or friends that can be that support for you, I highly recommend a birth doula. And yeah, so those are the things that contributed to me feeling empowered when it came to pregnancy, birth, and delivery. So yeah, a whole lot of sources of empowerment that we all have access to for the most part. So yeah, and in regards to my own positive mindset, I know, like I said before, that my body is designed to do that. My body was fully capable and designed to do that. And to keep that in mind throughout the labor and delivery, it negates like any thoughts of it's not working or I can't do it or I can't take it. You just have to remember that everything from the moment of conception, your body you didn't do it. Like, we didn't do it. Our bodies nurtured this baby, and yeah, we eat a certain way and we take care of ourselves a certain way, but at the end of the day, our body is doing most of the work. We're just assisting it by, you know, not like doing anything crazy, bungee jumping and stuff like that. But our bodies can do it, y'all. It did it the full 9 months, and when you get to the end, it will do the rest of the work because the baby gotta go. Period. Okay, next. How I felt during the labor and delivery. Okay, so let's see. I wrote a lot, y'all. I wrote a lot. At first, I didn't know I was in labor. Yeah. So during the time I was in labor, the early contractions started. I had AJ, my daughter, on the 17th. Those contractions started on the 15th, like at 2 or 3 in the morning. And they were very light. I just felt uncomfortable. It didn't even feel like they could be contractions, but it felt really uncomfortable, and I thought I had gas, so I kept going to the bathroom, and like nothing was happening. It was just so uncomfortable. I got back in bed, and my mom, she was like, try moving around, because if it's gas, then it'll pass. So I went upstairs and I sat on my birth ball and I did all this, and some of it was gas and it did pass. But you know, after you pass gas, like, you feel relief, and I just felt still very uncomfortable. So I'm just sitting there and like probably trying to go to sleep and not working, so getting up and in and out and in and out. I think I probably made some cookies or something just to get my mind off of it. And so I was sitting upstairs like watching TV, like not knowing that I was in labor, just thinking that I was uncomfortable. So yeah, as the labor progressed, actually no, that was the 15th, early in the morning. So throughout that day, I bought a twin bed for because I had a lot of people coming to the house for when AJ came. So we bought a twin bed, and me and my mom put the bed together, like the frame. We put the bed frame together, and this is still like I'm in early labor, like doing all this, but I had to do something, you know, to occupy my mind, because if not, then the pain was just like, it was too uncomfortable. And as long as I was doing something else, then it wasn't like I was waiting for the next contraction to come. So we put the bed together. It was pretty hard, like, for me to move around. I was like sitting on the floor putting pieces together and doing the nails and hammering and all that stuff. And then I think maybe that was pretty much the same thing, like just contractions coming every now and then, but not that bad. They were probably, I would say at this point, they were probably like a period cramp on maybe like ×5 early. And then even then, like, everybody's cramps aren't the same. So again, y'all, take it with a grain of salt, because yours is going to be different. But that's how I guess I would describe it. So I think the next day was Sunday, and I may be jumbling the days, but regardless, I'm still like early in labor. So but the next day we went to Walmart, because I still had some supplies that I had to get for my birth. During the water birth, you have to like buy the gauze and like, I don't know, the diapers and like just random stuff. But we went to Walmart, and we went to the mall because I wanted to get a pedicure to get my mind off of it. Yeah, I think my mom knew I was in labor. But I didn't really know. I just knew that I didn't feel well and I was uncomfortable, and I didn't feel the discomfort as much when I was doing something else. So I was like, we gotta go. We gotta leave this house. I can't stay in this house. So we went, got the pedicures, and I'm like sitting there, get my pedicure, whatever. And like however long, every couple minutes, I'm like, while the lady is doing my toes, y'all. And so I guess the lady, she knew I was in labor too. I forget that I was like this big pregnant lady, and everybody could see that I was ready to pop. But I'm just like trying to stay cool and like be on my phone, and then the contraction come, and I'm like and my mom is like timing the contractions. There's an app that I will put in the description box, but there's an app, you can probably find any app, that you can just start and stop every time a contraction comes. So it measures how long the contraction lasts and how far apart the contractions are. So yeah, that's what we did. Went to the mall, and then went to Walmart. My mom and my roommate went and bought all this stuff, and they bought like some comfy clothes, and they found the rest of the stuff that I needed. And I sat on the bench in Walmart, y'all. I was just sitting there like waiting for them to come back and get me, because I wasn't gonna make it like walking through the store. It was too much. So yeah, that was Sunday, I think. I don't know, but regardless, so the contractions, obviously they're gonna get more intense and more frequent. And by that night, I gone to sleep probably maybe for a few hours, and then the contractions were coming, and they were like coming strong. So in my mind, I was honestly thinking that I would go to work Monday. But as the labor progressed, I was like, yeah, no, because you have to answer phones, get up, and just do little stuff. I worked at a desk, but at the same time, in the middle of labor, like, that's not even sitting at a desk is work. So I called my supervisor, and I texted him. Like, I've been having contractions, blah blah blah. Like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I would have made it driving to work, which was like a 8-minute drive, because of how those contractions were hitting. You just want to stop everything. So yeah, didn't go to work, and maybe those contractions, I can't remember when they were 7 minutes apart specifically. Like, they were lasting for about a minute, and so at that point it wasn't easy, but it was easier to manage because you know when it's coming, and even if you don't know when it's coming, you know how long it's gonna last. So I would literally be like watching the timer on the app to wait for it to get to 60 seconds or like 59, 58 seconds, and then it's over. So that was the easy part, honestly. And then at some point they started coming more frequently. And if you ever have a baby, then you know that they tell you to wait until the contractions are, don't remember, maybe 2 or 3 minutes apart, lasting for a minute. That might be wrong. So your doctor will tell you what it's supposed to be. But I say that to say that never happened for me, y'all. Like, the contractions that were happening irregularly, they were coming closer together, but they were never like a set amount of time apart, and they started lasting more than 60 seconds. I feel like sometimes they would last 2 minutes, and I think I deleted the app, and I meant to keep it for this video, but I deleted the app, so I don't even remember like the record of how everything was going. But I just remember that the contractions were catching me off guard because the frequency had not regulated. So they were literally, as soon as one was starting to end, another one would come like right away. Because my mom, she would be asking me like, is it over, or do you have one coming? And I couldn't even decipher if it was ending or beginning, because they just kept coming in. Yeah, it was rough. And I admit, like, at one point I started crying because I was just like, how long is this gonna last? Like as long as I knew how often they were coming and I knew how long each one was lasting, I was good. But then it started becoming unpredictable, and then I got like kind of overwhelmed, like. But at the same time, I knew I was having her at my house. I knew I didn't want to have her in the hospital, so it really was nothing I could do but cry. And it was brief, but I did have like a moment of real weakness, and my mom, she kind of just talked me back to life. And every contraction that passes, that's the closer you're getting to the actual delivery. So I had to take a moment and like come back, and then eventually we called the midwife. My mom called the midwife, and I think my midwife, I don't think she realized like how far into like the labor I was, and she probably thought that like first time mom, like we got time. we did have time, but I was still like progressed more than she had expected. We waited to call the doula. I don't really know why I waited. I could have called her at that moment too, but we just pretty much going through the motions. Contractions, no contractions, sleeping, contraction wake me up, fall back asleep, contraction wake me up, mom fall asleep, I have contraction, I wake her up, she falls asleep, contraction in. Like, it was just a whole lot of up and down, up and down. But eventually, my midwife, she got there at 10 o'clock, I think. My doula, she got there probably like an hour or so earlier. It's hard to remember, honestly, because there's so much going on internally and mentally. Regardless, my midwife, she got there. We had like the sheets laid out on the couch and everything. Oh yeah, at some point I lost my mucus plug that night, I think. Also, didn't provide much relief like I thought it would. But yeah, that happened. And then the entire time I had a bowl of fruit and a bottle of water that my doula was literally feeding me and like giving me water to drink, because I just wanted to do nothing. And but my doula, she would help me do different things. She would like hold my arms or stand up, and she would like sway me side to side. She would sway my hips, because all of that helps like lower the baby. I did my birth ball once, y'all. I fully intended to utilize my birth ball throughout the labor, but it just did not feel good for me, so that was out. We got on all fours a couple times. All fours was very helpful actually, but the thing is, getting up from it was not easy for me, and so I didn't want to do that anymore. So she would lean me over the counter and like rock me side to side, which felt really good. We went up and down the stairs maybe twice, which is all of this is to help lower the baby. And going up and down the stairs, it was tough actually, because there's so much pressure like down there, but it did help. And then after that, after all that moving around, I pretty much laid on the couch and tried to get rest, because my doula and the midwife, they were just recommending to pretty much rest now, because pretty soon there's not going to be much rest like during the actual birthing process, and then after that, because there's going to be a baby here. So like I was trying to rest, and I wake up in between like from contractions and stuff, and maybe wake up and eat something. But essentially, like, I was sleeping for a while. I was trying to figure out like when can I get in the water, because I just felt like it was going to help a lot. But you have to wait until I think it was 8 centimeters to get into the water. So pretty much that whole time in between was just sleeping and waking and like communicating with AJ's dad, and just like another up and down, like just waiting it out pretty much. And then my midwife checked me, and I was 8 centimeters, and I was ready to get in the water. And in the water, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, and act like I didn't feel anything, because I still felt the contractions, but it just felt like a relief, like a weight had been lifted. And I just was like trying to get comfortable. It's hard to get comfortable when you're in labor. It's hard to get comfortable when you're late in pregnancy, but when you're in labor, you just feel so much pressure, so much like tightness, and you just gotta like but eventually I did get comfortable, and I was like in the water, and maybe I'll put some pictures in of me in the pool with my face looking all not cute and my bonnet on. But I was comfortable. I was much more comfortable, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up, and everybody was staring in my face. And then I think my doula, she checked me a final time, and it was time, and I was 10 centimeters dilated, which you're good to start pushing. Like, you open. It's not that big. I don't know. But and I was like I can push, and she was like, yeah. And I was like I was expecting something to happen, you know, like something to just trigger, like, you know, time to like just push. But I initiated. I think had I waited longer, then my body would probably have started doing the pushing for me, because I've heard that from other people. But again, it ain't always the same. It ain't ever the same. But I started pushing, and just regular pushing, like, ain't gonna do it. Like, you gotta awaken the warrior. the warrior woman within. That's the only thing. I had to yell. I had to yell, like, to get any kind of traction. Like, I had I don't even know. I don't even know how to, like, reenact it, because in that moment it just came out. I think I probably pushed for, I have a video on my phone which is like 8 to 10 minutes, and I think the video cut off maybe like the first set of pushing, so I would say I probably pushed for no more than 15 minutes. And then my baby was here. My little AJ was here in my arms. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, but it was beautiful. I cried in that moment. Absolutely cried, because one, it was over and I was really happy it was over. And then two, I had my baby. Those are flip-flop, because I was happier to have my baby, I think. Oh yeah, pushing was the easiest part. Yeah, I don't even remember how it felt. You would think that pushing hurts the worst. It doesn't. That was literally the easiest part. And when it was over, it was over. The pushing was over. Well, and then you have to deliver the placenta, so don't forget about that. But it's not nearly as hard as delivering the baby. But yeah, pushing, easiest part. I think probably anyone will tell you, maybe, that pushing is the easiest part. It was my easiest part. Again, not all the same. Not all the same. And then finally, how I felt after labor and delivery. 2 words: blessed and tired. I was tired. Very blessed. I was holding my baby, the baby that I bonded with, y'all, for 9 months. The good, the bad, the ugly, okay? And she was here, and I felt unstoppable. I felt like strong, so powerful, so like capable, because you just reflect on the entire period of being pregnant, y'all. 9 months, really 10 months. I don't know why they say 9 months. It's really like 10 months. It's just a whole process. Pregnancy in itself is a whole process. The labor that lasted like 2.5 days, like, and then to finally have the product of all that time in your arms in a moment is just like, you feel unstoppable. Like, you feel, and to allow your body naturally or not, like, to have allowed your body to do what was necessary to bring this baby to you, like, to deliver this baby. Like, it's all, I can't even explain how powerful you feel and how empowered and how strong you feel. And that's whether you do it with the drugs or without, because it's hard either way. It's hard either way. But yeah, the most blissful moment I've ever experienced in my entire life. Holding her in my arms made every single thing in that past year worth it. And there was a lot going on in that past year, from the entire year, from before I got pregnant to when I got pregnant, which was huge and stressful. During the pregnancy, still a lot. And then after the pregnancy, it made everything worth it. I didn't forget everything, but nothing else mattered in that moment, and after it, nothing else mattered when she was here with me in my arms, y'all. Okay. And tired. I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I hadn't gotten any good sleep for a very long time, for a couple days, so I was exhausted. My body did a whole lot of work without that sleep that I just mentioned. And yeah. And then, yeah, that's pretty much, that's how I felt. Blessed and tired. Breastfeeding, I'm going to do a whole nother video on that probably, because that is a battle in its own. But it's a battle that you overcome if you are consistent with it. So yeah. That was my birth experience from beginning to end. if y'all have any questions, will I do it again? Absolutely yes. And it was the best experience, y'all. Like, aside from the pain and the discomfort, the water birth was the best. Doing it naturally and being able to feel my body go through the processes and being able to be fully present was the best feeling in the world, in my opinion, and I will absolutely do it again. So yeah, if y'all have any questions about any part of this video, it's pretty long, so shout out to you if you stuck through it the whole time. If you have any questions or would like me to expand on any topic, subtopic within the video, go ahead and let me know. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe, especially if you're a new mom, because I got more videos coming, or if you're an expecting mom, go ahead and subscribe. Like this video, comment below what you think, share it on any and all platforms, and thank y'all for watching. Peace.